Introduction to the transport of oxygen and carbon dioxide in the body fluid. So, what is actually meant by this topic? Basically, it is the gaseous exchange process where the oxygen is being transported from the lungs to the tissues, while carbon dioxide are being transported from the tissues back to the lung. So, what is actually a body fluid? Body fluid, by definition, is all types of liquid within the body. There are two types of body fluid. Firstly is the intracellular fluid compartment (ICF) and secondly is the extracellular fluid compartment (ECF). ICF is the system that includes all fluid enclosed in cells by the plasma membrane, while ECF is the fluid that surrounds all cells in the body. ECF is divided into two types, the interstitial fluid and the plasma fluid. So the most important body fluid is the blood. Blood is under ECF. So hemoglobin, a protein molecule used in the gaseous exchange, used to transport the oxygen and carbon dioxide from the lungs to the tissues and vice versa, are found in the red blood cell. This is why blood is the most important body fluid of all.
Hemoglobin is the protein molecule in red blood cells that carries oxygen from the lungs to the body's tissue and return carbon dioxide from the tissues back to the lungs. Hemoglobin is made up of 4 protein molecules, which is known as globulin chains that are connected together. Each globulin chain contains an important ion containing 4 furan compound termed heme. Embedded within the heme compound is an ion atom that is vital in transporting oxygen and carbon dioxide in our blood. The ion contained in hemoglobin is also responsible for the red color of blood. Hemoglobin plays an important role in maintaining the shape of the red blood cells. In their natural shape, red blood cells are round with narrow center, resembling a donut without a hole in the middle. Abnormal of hemoglobin structure can disrupt the shape of red blood cells, their function, and flow through the blood vessels.
What are the main types of respiratory pigments found in blood of animals? There are 4. One is hemoglobin, hemocyanin, chlorochlorine, and hemerythins. So I will describe and compare the respiratory pigments, which include hemoglobin, hemocyanin, chlorochlorine, and hemerythrin. As you can see, there are structures for each respiratory pigments, where the structures shown are in oxygenated state, which I already circled out the oxygen area in the structure. For hemoglobin, hemocyanin, and chlorochlorine, they are all hemiproteins, which state that proteins that contains hemiprostatic group. Whereas for hemerythrin, it doesn't contain any hemi group, but rather the combination of several monomeric proteins to form oligomeric proteins. For hemoglobin, chlorochlorine, and hemerythrin, these 3 respiratory pigments contains ions, unlike hemocyanin, which contains copper. All the main respiratory pigments will show different colors in oxygenated and deoxygenated state. For hemoglobins, it will show bright red when oxygenated and dark red when deoxygenated. While for hemocyanins, deoxygenated blood will show a blue color and it will turn to colorless when it used up the oxygen. For chlorochlorine, when oxygenated, it will show green color when in higher concentration of oxygenated pigments, it will show light red. When the oxygenated state, it will become light green color. For hemorrhaging, the pink violet color will prove that there is oxygen in the pigment, and when it used out, it will become colorless, just like hemocyanin. So where can we find the main respiratory pigments in animals? So for the hemoglobin, of course it's include humans, us, and most of the other vertebrates, which include birds, fishes, and maybe mammals. For the hemocyanins, it is shown in the blue, green, copper color, which are present in crustaceans, myriapods, spiders, mollusks, octopus, and squid. For chlorochlorine, it's rare but is included in marine worms, several leeches, and some salamander worms. The chlorochlorine will appear green color, just like I stated previously. And finally, the hemorrhaging, which this pigment only present in marine worms, which include branchiopods, priapulids, and spicungula.
So today I will explain about the factors that influence gas transportation. So basically there are 4 major factors that influence the gas transportation for oxygen and carbon dioxide in human or animal body. So the first one is the partial pressure. As the partial pressure of oxygen increases, the hemoglobin becomes increasingly saturated with oxygen. The second one is the temperature. For example, a higher temperature promotes hemoglobin and oxygen to dissociate faster. The higher the temperature, the easiest the hemoglobin and oxygen to dissociate. Whereas a lower temperature will inhibit the dissociation. The third one is the presence of hormone. So basically in our body there are several of certain hormones that will influence the gas transportation, such as androgens, epinephrine, thyroid hormones, and even growth hormone. These hormones will affect the oxygen hemoglobin saturation or dissociation curve by stimulating the production of compound called 2,3-bisphosphoglycerate, or known as DPG, by erythrocytes. And the last one is the pH. So as we know, stated in the Bohr effect theory, that the Bohr effect is a phenomenon that arises from the relationship between the pH and oxygen affinity for hemoglobin. A lower, more acidic pH will promote the oxygen dissociation from the hemoglobin.
So in conclusion, oxygen and carbon dioxide are transported in the body via body fluid called the blood. Hemoglobin is found in the red blood cell, and it plays an important role in transporting the oxygen and carbon dioxide throughout the body, from the lungs to the tissues for the oxygen and vice versa for the carbon dioxide, via a process called gaseous exchange.